Will SUI token hit $5? I have the technicals that you need to see. I'll be sharing them with you in this video. I'm also going to talk about XRP and Bitcoin especially where altcoins are related, because usually there's a tail whip effect. So if you get a strong movement up on Bitcoin that can support the movement we get on SUI. I'll give commentary on that in this video, and I'll also give some broader market commentary because we do have those huge catalysts coming up for us, one of which is the really big announcement from Trump, which we don't know what's going to be directly impactful, but we'll talk about that. Now, mind you, if you want to see more of my analyses, more of my breakdowns, my buys, my sells, there's a link down in the description for the Discord, sign up for the earner tier. We'll talk about that later. In the meantime, let's kick things off with XRP, then we'll get to whether or not SUI can hit that $5 per token. So what we got right now for XRP, you can see this area of resistance that we're in. I say resistance because we were down here when I put up these technicals, and we've made it up in here, and I said, man, that's going to be tough to get through. You can see all the chop that preceded it. We're still in that area of chop, getting rejected right around $2.36 per XRP token. Right now, sitting critically at support with the RSI just under 50. So sort of bearish in the near term, but I think Bitcoin is really worth looking at. And you'll notice if you look up here, this says next stop. So just in case you can't read that on your screen, and that's at 104.324. That's what I'm looking at to see, will Bitcoin make it up there based off this last movement that we had, this most recent movement that started on the 21st of April with that volume supported move. We could see that happen potentially. If we get the full movement out of this, we could be up well over the previous highs that we had for Bitcoin that happened to be the last highest price on here, 109.356. Maybe we put that in up above there, but I think the next stop that we could see on this, if we continue in a bullish direction for the crypto market, is 104,000. And you'll notice these two rays that I have drawn in on here, they look like parallel lines. They're not, they're rays, and they do intersect at a point going all the way back to 2013, by the way. The next candle, if we were to hit it today, would be right at around 100,000. Sitting on top of this bottom ray is very strong support, and there's also fairly good resistance off of this top ray that you see up here. Clearing those, especially on a volume move, it could give us that permission up to that 104, and that move would also support SUI's move up to, check this out, the price target on this bull flag that we have going on right now for SUI. There's the flagpole, there's the flag coming down from the bottom of this thing to the top, all the way back down to the bottom using a Fibonacci extension. That puts us up at $4.96, almost $4.97, putting in nearly that $5 price tag on SUI token, which would not be an all-time high. So it's still reasonable that we get to that value, and I think it's very much worth looking at as we take a look at SUI token with the bullish RSI that we have. We had the igniting volume that led to the flagpole. We had the cooling off period that we want to see. We have a major catalyst in the markets today, so we'll see if we get a dovish Fed on top of it that can support risk assets. And, you know, if it comes off hawkish, that can certainly be a vote against this. We definitely need to be aware of that as well. But in terms of RSI, weekly RSI, also bullish. And when we go to monthly RSI, also bullish, none of which are in the overbought territory right now. We are freshly in the move for a rip upward on SUI token, and there is some resistance along the way, and I do have some other technicals, but I was trying to keep this clean for you. We have no less than 3 areas of resistance heading up north on our way to that, but I do believe that if we get a strong enough move, it's going to melt through that resistance, and we're looking at that price target up for SUI coming up in the next few days, enough that I can actually call it a price prediction. So SUI price prediction of $5 per token sometime in the near future. I would say within the month of May is certainly something that we could see happen. I think that from what we have today, which is May 7th, that we could have the SUI tokens price prediction of $5 being hit sometime in that near future. We do need to make it over top of these rays. Right now we're in between them. That's great to see. You can see that if we look at this bottom ray that's on here, much of what I had drawn for Bitcoin, that we are finding decent report, that we did go down below it for a little bit. Thank you 13 EMA for saving us. Same thing happened on Monday, May 5th. Thank you 13 EMA. We opened above it and we closed above the ray. We tried on Tuesday, May 6th, to close below that, but instead we ended up, even though we dropped down at first, we still ended up closing up above this ray, still have it as support for us. That once again is a vote in the right direction, literally the right direction for SUI hitting that $5 price target. Now, I did tell you that I'll give you some further commentary on the markets. Remember, Trump has his really, really big announcement. It could be something dealing with crypto. It could be something dealing with tariffs. It could be something not related to the financial markets at all. We have to wait and see, but he is a businessman, and when he gets really, really excited about things, I have a feeling that that is exactly what it deals with, is something that has to do with money. And I do think that it is going to be something that's going to affect the markets. We'll see. That happens Thursday, Friday, Monday. He said before they leave for the United Arab Emirates trip on Monday the evening. So we do want to be watchful for that, because that probably is that's a potential catalyst coming our way that could be very favorable for the markets, or at least put in at least a short-term narrative for the markets that allows them to experience either some upward pressure or maybe even just a release of some of the downward pressure. So other things that we have coming up, Jerome Powell today at 2:30. We'll see if they come in hawkish or dovish for that. And then, well, we also have the talks with China coming up Thursday, Friday. And so we'll see what Jerome Powell has to say, what sort of talks happen, because if he says we're not really sure what's going to happen with these tariffs, which is likely what he's going to say, then we get into what exactly can be said on Thursday, Friday, any progress made with Bessent going over and talking with China about a potential trade deal. So positive news coming out of that trade deal. The market's going to react pretty favorably for that, and we could probably see a move up above the 200-day for the QQQ and SPY. So let me put up those charts for you just real quick. So putting up the Qs, let's go out to the daily chart. You can see the resistance that we have up above the most recent peak that we've had back on Friday, May 2nd. Now, mind you, I shared these technicals over at the Discord. If you sign up for the earner tier, you get unrestricted access to all the expert panelist channels. I'm one of the expert panelists over there, and there's thousands of community members already. Tons of products and services, including a bread bot that can tell you when the big moves are coming up or down. Options chat that's over there as well. And then crypto chat, you name it. There's a place there for everybody searching for financial freedom and trying to find alpha in their portfolios. We're all there to support each other in those pursuits. And like I said, links in the description. Use the earner tier. It gets you unrestricted access. So let's move in from there. For the Qs with the EMAs that are up here, we're certainly up above the 513 and 50. All in the pre-market hours after the news that we had of potential of the talks with China that are going to be happening Thursday and Friday. And so that is taking a little bit of the spotlight off of Powell, but trust me, the Powell thing's very, very big. And just to show you real quick, let me take down the technicals and just show you the moving averages that we have on here. Down below the 200-day, that's going to be critical for crossing. This week, we can definitely get up above that 200-day if things go favorably with what the Fed has to say and with the China trade deal talks and with whatever Trump's very, very big news is. We are right at that moment. The 20-day inflecting upward, we're up above it, which is bullish. Down below the 200-day, which is a bigger bearish signal, the RSI is up above 50, which is bullish. And we're also up above the 50 SMA. Also bullish thing, we need to get these faster moving averages up over the slower ones. So blue needs to cross over magenta, magenta needs to cross over orange, blue also needs to cross over orange. The more we see that with the price action above those moving averages, those are bullish things that we're watching for. So we have, as I said in my previous videos, a lot of reasons to be hopeful. SPY in a very similar situation. If I take down the technicals and just show you the moving averages that are on here, we're pretty much in the exact same boat for SPY as we are for the Qs. IWM, faring just a little bit worse. Now, mind you, here is where you can see what that impact of the 6 o'clock hour, and I posted about it last night in the, well, I'm expert of the week right now over in the Discord, so I posted in that part of the channel, but I also have other things that I post in my personal Dr. Stock expert panelist channel as well over at the Discord, and you can see that big move, just how huge of a release of downward pressure it is just at the thought that there could be a relief to the trade war with China and that there could be positive progress in terms of tariffs where we start to de-escalate and we start to get things moving again. The market absolutely loved it, and today could be a very good day for us. Once again, Powell could come in, he could spoil it for us. So let me just recap what we have going on. SUI token, $5. It is in sight that we could return to that $5 mark. I got my fingers crossed that that's exactly what we see, because I brought this information to you, and hopefully it's something that you can use of benefit to yourself. XRP, man, we're like tiptoeing that support line right now. Hopefully support doesn't break and sends us back down, but I do think that lower XRP prices could lead to incredible opportunities. And I'm watching Bitcoin as always, because it's the crypto index. If you want to think about it that way, that the movements of Bitcoin usually end up influencing the altcoins that end up following it. And usually there's a bit of a delayed effect. And so Bitcoin moving up could support that price movement for XRP and SUI, as I've covered in this video. Guys, if you want to join me over at the Discord, the link's down there. You can come on over. You can see what we're talking about. You can see what we're buying and selling. You can see all the trade wins that come out from us, from the community. There's a channel for that as well. And like I said, the bread bot that's over there, the AI tools that we have over there, the advanced charting tools, the community, like you name it, it's all there waiting for you. All you got to do is click to sign up. And for just a little over what amounts to $1 a day, you get all that access. And oftentimes the information that we share pays back in dividends to the people who are over there. Guys, thank you very much for watching. I am Dr. Stock, Doctor of Education. Remember, my friends, that learning is earning. I'll see you next video.